The attack in Algeria has been a success. They're down to a single province, grain province, which we're not that interested in, but I do really want to eliminate them. After the next day change tick, I believe the players will start going AI, and the last thing I want is this 10 stack just kind of running amok. The Moroccan invasion was a partial success, but they kind of got bogged down in Fez. Morocco attacked a few times, but that hasn't been fruitful either. It's essentially been a quagmire for the past few days here. It looks like he's got some balloons, a few infantry, but both players at this point have been away. With the day tick, they're also going to go AI, and I will see them going at each other. Spain has maybe another at least 80,000 troops, but with a morale of 5%, I don't think they're going to do much damage. Morocco, on the flip side, is also struggling with morale hovering under 50% after they lost their capital. They haven't really been able to bounce back. They do still have a lot of troops, so I want these two to kind of duke it out, and then we can just kind of march in, take all the territories. It'd be nice if there was a capital, but I mean, I'll still take the double energy, the double food, 2 steel, 3, looks like there's a wood, and then a little bit of grain and fish. The landing in Spain was a huge success. We took Palma, we took Barcelona, Valencia, Murcia in the opening wave. What's nice is that they had no troops garrisoning the coast. And if you can look at the line of sight here in any of these provinces, you'll see that there is no line of sight. Yes, I see all the movement in the provinces I own, so Spain would have seen the same thing. Same thing goes for the island. But he would not have seen any of the movement or activity going on. We were able to take the capital of Madrid. We took the steel. We took the wood. These are going to be massive. We have railways coming online. We desperately need an additional boost to the steel production. Target morale is only 86. We really want to bump that up as high as we can. The additional 15% morale development should take this to 100. And at the same time kind of boost some of the provinces in the area here as well. Just continue to increase resource production. The extra grain, extra fish, but all of those will be huge for our cavalry production. Energy, I care a little bit less so in this kind of early game, maybe mid-game you might be able to call it. It's really going to have an impact once we start cranking out some more railroads. We start having some more energy-consuming units, but for the time being, it's just a nice to have. We started this invasion at the very beginning. We dropped it, but we are back now. We have produced an additional 3 cavalry. We have a 4th one coming up, and we have 24,000 in fresh, high morale, high hit points infantry. So we will take over the Double Fish province. I guess the AI doesn't build recruiting offices, but I mean the workshop will be nice, especially if it stays intact. It doesn't take too much damage. We might be able to repurpose this into a harbor. Repurpose this into a harbor factory combination, cranking out some more naval units for us, most likely cruisers or battleships. The capital in Tunis would be nice, but it is heavily guarded, which is why we're going to go for the 8 stack and then hopefully draw a few more of their forces south. Less concerned about these two. This level 2 fort is a bit more concerning, so again, if we can draw out some of their troops, that'll make our life easier. We'll take Tunis and then we'll go down and clean these up. Tripoli has been an AI, so you can see our garrison here is rather non-existent. We did form an alliance with South Algeria. They've got a lot of units, and frankly, I prefer them not stationing their troops right on my border. It's certainly freed up infantry on my end to continue the offensive. They haven't done much on their end either. If we look at their provinces, they've got a fort here. That's fine. They're building a barracks here in a single oil province. And they have a factory. Yet they have a fully functioning barracks right here. They've got another one right here. You've got 2 more here. And then you have another one right here. So most of these have been turned off because I assume he can't afford to maintain them. Yet he's continuing to build more. Whatever floats his boat, I guess. I don't know how he's able to spend all those resources, though. I mean, I don't see him producing any cavalry. He's building a fort here against an AI. I think he certainly should be fortifying his other positions near his capital that are... I mean, his front line is these 4 provinces, and that's really where you should be having your forts. Yes, they could always have an interesting play to the side, but when you're this desperate for resources and your opponents have large stacks in the area, I wouldn't be building forts in random spots, or barracks on that end. We have formed an alliance with Nubia as well. They've launched their assault into East Egypt. They've taken 4 provinces, one of the double provinces, so double coal in this instance, and they did sack the capital for that additional 10% morale boost, plus I believe half of the treasury of the nation, plus they would take I believe like half of the daily production of both money and resources, which has been a huge boon on his end. It looks like West Egypt has gone ahead and capitalized on his offensive, Nubia's offensive, and has stolen 2 provinces and now is going for the grain. From what I've seen, there was a stack of 20 here, another stack of 20 there, stack of 20 there. That's 30,000 infantry. You've got, terrible math. That's 60,000. You have 70 sitting here. You had maybe another 10 over here, so that's 80,000 infantry. He's really not building any recruiting offices, so I bet you this 3,000 was here by itself. So I bet you this 3,000 was from regular recruitment, and he only had like 10,000 in each of these provinces. So Nubia certainly got the short end of the straw here. Now, one of the things we're going to try to do to help our ally Nubia is to bring a few scouts over off their coast. We'll get additional we'll get additional vision into their coast. We can see if they are producing any harbors or any factories that could potentially threaten us in the Mediterranean. And if the provinces are fully unguarded, we may just take the opportunity to land, capture a few of these provinces, disrupt production, disrupt recruitment, potentially cancel some construction. Huge things that would be detrimental to West Egypt. Now, let's say West Egypt does react and station some troops on the border. Well, those are troops that cannot be used in an offensive against Nubia. And that's also troops that cannot defend some of his other borders. Nubia, on the other hand, is desperate for steel. He does have the double steel province, but I don't believe he has enough resources to build railroads, potentially build additional factories down the line, or generate any additional units. And that's certainly the struggle with resources. Having early game fish, early game grain will let you crank out a lot of cavalry early on to go on early offensives. Double coal, double gas, less valuable. Having a double oil will certainly come in handy late game, but really it's not going to compare to the other resources. Having a double wood, double steel certainly sets up your infrastructure to be able to compete later in the game, even if you don't have as many provinces. Even if you don't have as many provinces. And double wood and double steel certainly come in handy at all stages of the game, be it fortifications in the early game, additional armored cars, railroads, factories, and then it'll streamline his production going forward.